Okay, today we're going to be looking at the role of the Crown in the Australian parliamentary system. The Crown, or the Queen, is represented by the Governor-General at the Commonwealth level and the Governors of the 6 states. The Constitution places executive power with the Crown and is exercisable by the Governor-General. However, in reality, the Governor-General acts on the advice of the government. The three main roles: to provide royal assent to acts of Parliament, to exercise the reserve powers, and to act in the Executive Council with relevant ministers. Royal assent is the signing of a proposed law. It's necessary before an Act of Parliament can become law. Normally, it's given as a matter of course. However, the Governor-General has the power to withhold royal assent in certain circumstances. And this would be very rare, and generally the Governor-General will just act on the advice of the government. The state governors no longer have this power to withhold royal assent. The second role is reserve powers. These can be exercised without the advice of ministers. They're not set out in the Constitution. However, the Governor-General essentially must ensure that the country continues to be governed. For example, if the government was voted out and refused to step down, or if the government could not get legislation through the Senate, then the Governor-General would be expected to step in. Exactly what the reserve powers are and whether they should be acted on is debatable. The third role is the Executive Council. The Governor-General is responsible for making delegated legislation while acting in council with relevant ministers. Delegated legislation is the rules and regulations made by government bodies. For example, government departments or statutory authorities like Vic Roads and the CFA. A typical question you might get would be outline 2 roles of the Crown for 4 marks. So for 2 roles, it's essentially 2 marks each to make up the 4 marks. It's important that you do your first role first and then go on and do your second role. Don't try to skip between the 2 because you'll get confused, you might leave something out and you lose marks. Similarly, don't do 3 roles because you won't have the time or the space to do them well enough to get the 4 marks. Certainly don't do just 1 role because again, you won't be able to get the full marks. It's important to start with a clear topic sentence that restates the question and indicates which role you're going to do. So something like, one role of the Crown is to provide royal assent to acts of Parliament. And then explain what royal assent is. Royal assent is the signing of a proposed law. It is necessary before an act can become law. It is normally given as a matter of course on the advice of the government. Then start a new paragraph, a new topic sentence for your second role. Another role is to exercise the reserve powers. The Governor-General must ensure the country continues to be governed. If a government refuses to step down or cannot get legislation passed, the Governor-General may step in. The reserve powers are not defined in the Constitution. Exactly what the reserve powers are and whether they should be acted on is debatable. And that's it.